Hi, I'm Dani Gasparini, and welcome to this segment of Penn Voice. I'm joined today by Irving Torres, who is the legislative aide to Supervisor Warren Slocum, San Mateo County, District 4. Irving, welcome.
Thanks, Dani.
That's a long title.
I know, right?
So tell us what cities in the county are involved in District 4.
Yeah. So Supervisor Slocum represents the city of Redwood City, East Palo Alto, half of Menlo Park, so east of El Camino, and then the unincorporated area of North Fair Oaks.
Great. So it's quite a bit of a big area, and when I think about the area, it's actually one of the most bustling economic development areas. So I'm sure Warren is very busy, and therefore you are very busy. So tell us a little bit about what's happening in District 4.
Yeah, it's been a busy year for us. I mean, we've been actually hosting a lot of workshops and events. We've actually hosted a Know Your Rights workshop to really educate our immigrant populations about, what to do when ICE comes around their neighborhoods. We also kind of dispelled any rumors about local law enforcement taking away immigrants, and then we've also provided some legal representation in those workshops. And then we also try to focus on targeting youth members to connect them with jobs over the summer. And then we partnered with other organizations to provide mentorship to youth members to really build up their resume, to practice their interview skills, and then also just to be competitive when they do go out and apply for the workforce. And then finally, we've actually launched this campaign called Beautify North Fair Oaks.
So we're going to talk about the Beautify North Fair Oaks in a minute, but what comes to mind when you were listing all of these things that you've sort of been working on within Warren's district? It's I probably wouldn't have come up with that list right off the bat. When I think of what the county does, I'm always thinking about you're dealing with economic growth, you're dealing with parks, you're dealing with health systems, you're dealing with safety net things. So really what you were talking about is taking government and turning it upside down and saying, what can we do from a positive standpoint to say, how do we improve people's lives, which is a little different focus than I'm even used to thinking, because all of these things are about educating youth, giving youth a greater ability to succeed with your internship programs, and then also to giving residents assurances that their community is always going to be their community, that we don't have to live in fear and anxiety with some of the things that are happening at the national and federal level.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. I think we've kind of really approached a lot of these issues in a very innovative, kind of outside the box way. And a lot of it stems from just really talking to our communities and constituents, is seeing what can we do to support you? And a lot of these ideas really stem from the residents of District 4.
Right, and what's the information that you're actually needing, and how can we better provide it to you? I love, and even the improvement of your information systems. And a lot of the outreach programs are just amazing to see. So you talked about Beautify North Fair Oaks. So North Fair Oaks is a large unincorporated area for San Mateo County and for Supervisor Slocum's district. So what's happening over there?
Yeah, so we've been, since Supervisor Slocum was elected and started in 2013, we've been kind of going around North Fair Oaks talking to residents, and they've been kind of bringing some issues about, illegal dumping, abandoned shopping carts, graffiti. And so this year, we are really kind of launching this awareness campaign called Beautify NFO. And the objective is really just informing our residents about these are the tools that the county can offer. And we are going to really connect residents to report all these issues and respond in a very efficient and timely manner. So there's an app called Report It SMC where residents can actually take a picture and report it directly into our county database, and then we'll be able to collect illegal dumping or hire a graffiti abatement contractor to go and kind of get rid of all the graffiti in North Fair Oaks.
Well, it's great. It's almost like you have, an added thousands of eyes and ears on the street, so that because obviously, as public works or as officers, I mean, they're certainly out looking, in the communities. But now you've got thousands of residents looking out for you to identify and report graffiti and those kinds of things that are happening, so you almost kind of abate them immediately.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've been kind of our eyes and ears on the floor, and then at the same time, they're being educated in terms of what the resources are out there for the county.
So have you seen a reduction in some of these illegal dumpings or graffiti because you're able to get them. I always kind of think of the idea that the longer graffiti stays up, the more encouraging it is because that's a message from someone to someone else. And the same thing with dumping. If someone sees, oh, they've just dumped their stuff here, I will too. Do you see a reduction now that you're abating these kinds of things and cleaning them up so quickly?
Yeah, with regards to graffiti, I mean, we set the goal of making sure, because sometimes graffiti would be on the wall for months at a time. And so the objective for our contractor with the graffiti abatement is to eliminate graffiti within 24 hours. And so a lot of residents have actually come and really seen a significance, a decrease of graffiti around North Fair Oaks. So it has helped. We have put on the pressure of just making sure that we address these issues in a very timely manner.
And I think as communities come together, they also band together and say, look, this just isn't what we want for our communities. This is, we're very prideful for our neighborhoods. And so we're all going to be a part of trying to make it that way by informing the folks, the county, for example, who can do something about it. And I think the other part too, when I was reading through your information, and that is people don't really realize that they can call Recology for a free pickup.
Yeah.
So rather than taking that mattress and dumping it over, on the railroad tracks or on an abandoned land site, they can actually call and put it curbside so that they can get a free pickup.
Exactly. I mean, each resident in North Fair Oaks has 2 bulky items every year.
Right.
And so we try to educate the residents as well about that opportunity.
And I really appreciate you telling us about how folks can report either graffiti or illegal dumping. They actually can report almost anything through this site as well, and then you'll channel it to the right departments. Isn't that correct?
Exactly. So we make it very easy to use. We have a website, Beautify NFO, within the NFO Forward website. And there is kind of like a picture. So basically, whatever you see out there, you can just look at the icon, just click on it, and it'll give you either a way to download it, to report it, or even a number to call.
Right. So it makes information travel very quickly. So that's how you get to respond so quickly. So you have some really important workshops coming up, and that we need all the community to be involved. So tell us about those 2 workshops.
Yeah, so we have 2 amazing events coming up in the fall. One is it's the 2nd annual Immigrant Integration Summit. And the idea is we're actually inviting elected officials all throughout San Mateo County, as well as business leaders and nonprofit leaders to come together to really kind of understand what's going on with regards to immigration here in San Mateo County. And this year's theme, we are focusing on immigrant children. We've been hearing from Supervisor Slocum's constituents just the pressures and stress that immigrant children are facing in his district. And so we want to really kind of get more informed about those issues. We're actually inviting Professor Jimenez from Stanford, who does research on immigration, to really talk about these topics, and other guest speakers as well, and see what we can do to advance policies or really support our immigrant children.
Right. I know when the idea of immigration and deportation really came about after our last presidential election, the sad thing for me to read was that children weren't getting the health care that they needed, for families being fearful of somehow being found out about their legal status. So I'm sure the health systems will be part of this summit as well, and bringing everyone together, sort of talk about what the challenges are and then what the solutions might be.
Yeah, we have an amazing committee that's setting up this event. Representatives from Stanford, actually UCLA as well, our health system, and then our nonprofit organizations, as well as other elected officials. And just cross collaboration is going to provide a benefit.
And we'll put that date up for our viewers to see. And lastly, we've just got a couple of seconds left, but we have Connect 17, which I attended Connect 16 last year and thought it was probably one of the best summits I had ever attended. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's this year's topic for Connect 17 is disruptive technologies. So an example is autonomous vehicles and the impacts both pro and con it's going to have in our society.
Those driverless cars, darn it.
Exactly. And basically, it's a yearly event where we basically kind of educate our community leaders about the advances of technology and how that could be implemented towards advances towards public policy.
So who gets to be invited to Connect 17?
So basically, it's our elected officials, our community leaders, but pretty much, I mean, those who are really passionate about technology and how to utilize technology for the advancement of the public sector. You know, they're always
welcome. And we'll post that at the end of this segment so that people know when it is and how they might RSVP to attend. Irving, thank you so much for enlightening all of us about all the great things that are happening in District 4. Please tell Supervisor Slocum that we say hello. He's always been a great favorite guest of ours here on Penn Voice.
Thank you for having me, Dani.
And we'll see all of you next time on Penn Voice.